It's Phil Richards, and would you like to tell me about this project and your involvement?
I was involved, I guess, from the start, because in the early 1990s, 93 I think it was, we were on a visit to Dee, our twin town, and as part of that visit we were taken to Châtillon, which is a village just about 20 minutes from Dee, where we had were shown lots of interesting things, including a wonderful animated film about a story called L'homme qui plantait des arbres, the man who planted trees. And this film was made by a Canadian director called Frédéric Bach. He came over to Châtillon, and they already had an area of woodland in Châtillon. With his assistants, the school children there planted a new area adjacent to the old one, and they called it the Forêt Jean Journeau. So we were overwhelmed by the idea and overwhelmed by the film, and several of us who were there said it'd be really nice if we could have something like that back home. We looked for a site where we might plant a few trees, and it turned out that Stoney Quarry, which had lain fallow for a number of years, Tarmac were in the process of filling it in. So we approached various people who might be interested, and one of the key players right from the start was Andy Pollock.
Do you remember the first time you saw Stoney Quarry?
Well, yes, because we had a dog then, Eric, but he was very car sick when he was a young dog. We could tell he was going to be sick. And so we pulled in that little lay-by at the side of Stoney Wood and whipped the dog out, let him be sick out there, and that's the first time I ever saw that little area there.
So we planted the trees, and then a group gathered of enthusiasts who were planting the trees, with the hope that that might attract some funding so that we could actually carry on doing some things there. We got a bonus in, as far as I recall, it would have been in 1994, because that was when I was mayor, because Tarmac decided, for whatever reason, that they didn't need to hang on to Stoney Wood. We could have it. The town council.
As a ranger, I was invited down to talk to the town council about whether it would be a good idea to take it on or not, because they were very worried about what liabilities they would be taking on. And then I went down to a town council meeting and said, I don't think there'll be very many liabilities whatsoever. And they decided to take the wood on.
Keith Hunter, about the early days of Stoney Wood. And was it a really active group then, or?
Yeah, well, it was for that short period, because the trees were going in. I was building the bridges and doing the viewpoint. Veronica was doing her infinity loop.
Phil quite rightly had the vision that it would be used for art. So Veronica wanted to put a sculpture in there. And so the infinity symbol, or figure of 8, or whatever you want to call it, was created with these whacking great big boulders provided by Tarmac.
And we looked at this site, which was very bare, and there were just drainage channels. And I just saw that slope, and as soon as I saw that space, I just fell in love with it. I just thought, and I saw this figure of 8 in it, on that slope. I kind of imagined, it was like it appeared. We were going to dig a trench. We went to JC Balls, and they were prepared to supply a driver and a JCB and come and dig the trench. But when they came out to look at it, and he said, there's no way we can do that. The guys at Tarmac said, well, would you like some of these pieces, or would you like these pieces of stone? We've got these pieces of stone, you could have some of these. In the end, I thought, well, yes, it would be amazing. I chose every stone. I decided we would need some square ones and we needed some pointed ones. I wanted there to be a variety. And there are about 90 stones.
And when did you come up with the idea for the calendar stones?
That was shortly after we installed the viewpoint. One of the jobs on the list was to cut from the area around the viewpoint onto the top of Greenhill to create a drive-in entrance. And we ended up with a big pile of boulders, which were looking a bit scruffy, untidy. And the idea just came to me that we could use some of them as a mini Stonehenge. By chance, we came in contact with a young chap working up at the Stone Centre who was quite a skilled astronomer. And he was able to work out the positions for these stones for the two solstices and the equinoxes and the sunrise and sunsets, which is why they're where they are.
There was Lorraine Woolsey, teacher from Anthony Gell.
I think I was asked by you to get involved as far as the school was concerned.
So 1995 saw the first plantings in there, and it was that sort of central lump that you see now where the trees are the biggest, because of course that's where the trees are the oldest.
And I think our kids got a great deal from that, learning a bit about how to plant a tree. It was hard work because it was very stony.
What did you do for Red Nose Day? Can you remember?
Well, it was to do with you. I think it was the kids from, it might have been the infant school in Wirksworth. And the idea was that they, for every tree they planted, they got sponsored. I mean, when I first saw it, I thought this will never grow anything because it was just a sort of 45-degree angle rubble, really. There wasn't anything there. It's not like it is now.
There was a competition to name the woodland, and one of the kids at either the infants or the junior school came up with the name Stoney Wood, and we just thought that was so appropriate.
For the opening in 2001, as I say, the junior school were very involved. We decided we'd have a procession from the town up to Stoney Wood, where the official opening ceremony would happen. So they made these beautiful banners.
And there was a band playing, and everybody processed from the marketplace up to Stoney Wood with music playing and flags waving.
Oh.
Debbie's dancers danced around Veronica's stones, and there were representatives from Dee and Châtillon there who planted some more trees, and the then Mayor, Kevin Hall, declared the woodland open.
Do you ever visit the site today?
Funnily enough, we took some friends in mid-August up to the Star Disc. And my sister, now she lives down in Malvern, her friend Sylvia, who lives in London, had been to a wedding at the Star Disc earlier in the year. And she said, oh, it was wonderful, it was absolutely marvellous, and it was in the evening, and we all sort of had drinks, and it was lovely. She said it was absolutely fantastic. So I thought, I'll just go revisit that because I've not been for a while. And so it was a good opportunity. It was a gloriously hot, sunny morning. There was nobody there, and it was just magical. And of course the view is fantastic from the top.
Well, yeah. And what did you think of the trees that you planted?
Well, it's a woodland, isn't it? You don't even, you sort of just look down on this sea of green, really. It's quite different from how it was.